In this episode, we talk about India's target to eliminate Kala Azar or black fever. We also give you an update on the opposition bloc India. But first, we talk about the new Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Vishnu Deo Sai. Hi, I'm Utsa Sarmin and you are listening to Three Things, the Indian Express news show. The Bharatiya Janata Party on Sunday announced Vishnu Deo Sai as the new Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. Now, it is important here to mention that Sai, who belongs to the tribal community, was the president of the state BJP until last year when the party removed him from the post and appointed Arun Sao in his place. However, 7 days after the results were announced, Sai was chosen as the party's CM face. And with this, he became the first elected tribal Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. And soon after this announcement, Sai told reporters that the main agenda of his government will be to fulfill the promises his party made during the election campaign.
5 साल तक कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार चल रही थी जिससे हर वर्ग त्रस्त था और आज इस सरकार से छुटकारा मिला है और हमारी प्राथमिकता रहेगी कि हम लोगों ने जो चुनावी घोषणा पत्र जारी किया है मोदी की गारंटी उसमें जो भी वादे छत्तीसगढ़ की जनता से किए हैं उसको प्राथमिकता से पूरा करना ये हमारा काम होगा.
To know more about Sai and how appointing a chief minister from the tribal community might help the party in the upcoming Lok Sabha polls, we speak to the Indian Express's Jayprakash Naidu in this segment. So Jay, can you first tell us about Vishnu Deo Sai and his political tenure?
So, he is 59 years of age. He is a grassroots level worker. Politics runs in his blood. His grandfather was a nominated MLA in 1947 and two of his uncles have been MLA, MP and one of them has also been a union minister. This is in 1960s to 1970s. Vishnu Deo Sai himself started his political career in 1989 as a panchayat member of his village Bagia in Jashpur district in Sarguja division. Next year he became a sarpanch of the same village and also got a MLA ticket. After winning the assembly elections twice, he was given a Lok Sabha ticket in 1999 and he has won the Lok Sabha election 4 times and he has been an MP from 1999 till 2019. In 2014, he was also made the Union Minister for Steel, Mine, Labour and Employment.
And could you talk about his prominence among the electorate and his own community?
Yes, so, being a grassroots level worker, he's always had the people's mandate. Let it be as an MLA, let it be as a Lok Sabha member, he has won 4 Lok Sabha elections. Apart from this, what happened this time around is that there's this northern tribal belt known as Sarguja. And this time around, BJP got all the 14 seats in Sarguja belt. And in the last elections in 2018, Congress had achieved the same feat of winning all the 14 seats. So the Sarguja belt gave the entire mandate to the BJP this time. And, last time when the same mandate was given to Congress, they were hoping that T.S. Singhdev, who was made the deputy chief minister just few months before the elections, would become the chief minister. But instead, the party chose Bhupesh Baghel. So that may have disappointed the people in Sarguja. And this time around, they gave the entire mandate to BJP. So BJP must have seen this and they must have thought that, okay, we've got a tribal vote not only in Sarguja, but also in the southern belt of Bastar, where they won 8 of the 12 seats. So this time around, they must have thought that, okay, let's just go for a tribal face. Let's just, gift the tribal state a tribal CM for the first time.
But Jay, he was replaced as the BJP state president last year. So what led the party to feel like he would be the ideal CM candidate?
So there are a few things that you have to take into consideration. First is that he was made the state chief for the BJP in 2020, but in 2022 he was moved and the new face was brought in. Now his name is Arun Sao and he is from the OBC background. The Sao Samaj is said to be powerful in Chhattisgarh, and if you see the former chief minister Bhupesh Baghel, he was also OBC face. So the BJP must have felt that the Congress is giving the OBC push and that's why they replaced Sai by a OBC face. But then after the elections concluded, it was very clear that the BJP has got the mandate of tribals and that's the reason why they must be looking for a tribal face, and they had 2 options. One was the Union Minister Renuka Singh and the second option was Vishnu Deo Sai. Now Vishnu Deo Sai as compared to Renuka Singh is much more experienced and hence they must have thought of choosing him as the CM candidate.
Right, and like you mentioned, he is being portrayed as the first elected tribal chief minister of Chhattisgarh. But there is also a Hindutva angle in play here, right?
Yes. So, apart from the fact that they have got the tribal votes, which is a big reason for their victory, there is also a Hindutva angle. So, usually their stand is that they don't identify as a Hindu or as a Muslim. But even there, the tribals are divided. There are many tribals who identify themselves as Hindu. There are others who identify themselves as Christians. But there is also a huge chunk of tribals who don't identify themselves as part of any religion. So, in case of Sai, this is different. Sai identifies, or you can say practices Hindu religion. We can see that from his social media posts. And Sai has been an activist in the RSS tribal affiliate Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram. So this he has been doing since before he became a member of parliament. He was actively associated with the Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram in Jashpur. Now he is also close to Dilip Singh Judev, the person who is known for the Ghar Wapsi campaign. So this may have also been a reason why he suits the Hindutva card of the BJP, and that could be one of the reasons why Vishnu Deo Sai was chosen the chief minister.
And what would you say will be the primary focus of Sai after he is sworn in as the chief minister?
So, after he was announced as the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh on Sunday, in his first statements to the media, he said that his top priority would be to provide 18 lakh houses to the poor people under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, which the previous government did not do. This also became a big political issue during the elections when Prime Minister Narendra Modi raised this issue that the Congress government failed to implement the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. So, this is what Sai said in his opening statements, and he also said that he will fulfill Modi Ki Guarantee, a name that has been given to the BJP manifesto, and there are major promises that they have made, like giving rupees 12,000 per year to married women, and then buying paddy at 3,100 rupees per quintal. So these are the major challenges that he will have to keep.
And Jay, can you tell us how having a tribal chief minister in one of the major Hindi heartland states might help the party in the Lok Sabha elections, which are just a few months away?
So, in Chhattisgarh, there are 11 Lok Sabha seats, and there are at least 2 to 3 seats where the candidate cannot win without a tribal vote. As far as India is concerned, there are 47 reserved seats for the scheduled tribe in our country, and this is almost 9% of the total 543 seats we have in the Lok Sabha. Apart from Vishnu Deo Sai, if you see, the BJP has also made Draupadi Murmu the president of India in 2022. So, these two factors, may help the BJP to get the tribal vote.
And next we talk about the Kala Azar. Kala Azar, which is also known as black fever, is a parasitic infection that is transmitted by sandflies. And this nearly fatal disease has proved to be a challenge for India, which had set 3 previous deadlines to eliminate Kala Azar from the country, but failed to meet the said deadlines all the 3 times. Last year, during a Mann Ki Baat broadcast, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had mentioned that the country had now almost reached its elimination target.
सबका प्रयास से कालाजार नाम की बीमारी अब तेजी से समाप्त होती जा रही है। कुछ समय पहले तक कालाजार का प्रकोप 4 राज्यों के 50 से अधिक जिलों में फैला हुआ था, लेकिन अब ये बीमारी बिहार और झारखंड के 4 जिलों तक ही सिमट कर रह गई है। मुझे विश्वास है बिहार झारखंड के लोगों का सामर्थ्य, उनकी जागरूकता इन 4 जिलों से भी कालाजार को समाप्त करने में सरकार के प्रयासों को मदद करेगी। कालाजार प्रभावित
And now this year the country is set to achieve this target for the black fever. To know more about this disease and the sort of intervention the government had done to achieve this target this time, we talked to the Indian Express's Anonna Dutt in this segment. So Anonna, can you first begin by telling us about Kala Azar and how it affects the human body?
So, visceral leishmaniasis, or as it is commonly known as Kala Azar, it's a disease that is transmitted by sandflies. Sandflies basically breed mainly in mud walls. So if you have any crevices or unplastered wall sections, these mudflies can breed there, and they are the ones who can carry the parasite from an infected person to an uninfected one. And it leads to varying symptoms like fever, weight loss, enlargement of the spleen, enlargement of the liver, and it can be fatal if not treated in high, like 95% of the cases.
And could you tell us how widespread is this disease actually in India?
So for India, Kala Azar was a big problem, especially in the early 90s. We saw like a huge burden of cases, up to like 17,000 cases a year. And we saw quite a few deaths as well because we did not have as effective treatments then. But over the years, the incidence has been going down with, so say for example, this year we recorded only 530 cases and 4 deaths of Kala Azar. And last year also, I think it was around some 1,000 cases. So definitely the numbers have come down. And this year we have reached the elimination target actually of having only 1 case per 10,000 population in every block of the country.
But Anonna, the country had set deadlines thrice before and it missed them every time, right? Could you tell us what went wrong?
So the first deadline for Kala Azar elimination was in 2010, but the case burden back then was anyway quite high and we did not manage to achieve the elimination. It was subsequently moved to 2015, then pushed to 2017 and also to 2020, but I think nobody expected that to happen amidst the pandemic. So it was further pushed to 2023. Now with 2023 again, we were close to the target but not quite there yet, even in say 2022. And even the Prime Minister actually came and spoke about this on Mann Ki Baat. He said we are very close to achieving the target except for like 4 districts in 2 states. And he urged the people there to, contribute and bring this down. So there has been a lot of intensified activities in 2022, which have shown results in 2023, where we haven't seen more than 1 case per 10,000 population in any of the blocks of the country.
And what are the kinds of intervention done by the government to ensure India reaches this target this time?
So for any vector-borne diseases, we have to do 2 things. One is eliminate the parasite which causes the disease, and then 2, eliminate the vector or the insect that transmits the disease from one person to another. So if we talk about the insect, the important thing is to, do away with these crevices and holes in the wall where the sandflies can breed. One obvious intervention is moving to pakka houses, and there the government has been working on providing, houses to the poor. That is a good intervention. Other than that, even in kacha houses, the government has been working on plastering over so that there is no crevice left where the sandflies can breed. And one of the interventions that was introduced in 2022, according to the program officer, was the plastering over with something called the Gerard mud or Gerard soil. So this soil is quite hardy and does not come off easily. So wherever the officers found, gaps in the wall, they would just plaster it over with this mud, and that kind of reduced the breeding spaces. The second important intervention was, effective indoor residual spraying. Now, indoor residual spraying is basically an insecticide that you spray, but instead of dissipating, it sticks onto the walls and lasts there for, months together to bring down the population of the sandflies. Now, what happened is that when in 2022, the government officers started checking these houses, you would go to these remote villages and start checking houses where residual spraying had already been done, they were still finding sandflies. And that meant that the spraying wasn't effective. It could be that people weren't mixing the chemicals properly. It could be that they were putting in less chemicals than necessary, or they were not spraying it in areas. So, for example, some people said that the families wouldn't let them spray in the kitchen or the bathrooms. So things like that were happening, which allowed for breeding of the flies. So once the strict monitoring started happening from the central level and from the district level, this effective residual spraying was ensured, which is another reason why sandfly population went down.
Right, and you mentioned that one needs to eliminate the parasite as well. So tell us what the government has done for that.
So as for the parasite, one of the important parasite reservoirs is the people who get this post. So, apparently people who have recovered from Kala Azar, they have this dermal leishmaniasis, which is like tiny bumps they have on their skin. And although they do not have the other symptoms, they've recovered from the other symptoms of Kala Azar, the parasites persist in their body's reservoir. So it's known as post-Kala Azar dermal leishmaniasis. And for that, the treatment is a little longer than for Kala Azar, which is just one sitting with an amphotericin B infusion. For PKDL, you need a little longer, 14 days to, a month or so of taking medicines. And that, to ensure compliance, the government has started using the ASHA network to just go and check that the people are indeed taking their medicines. So these were the key interventions that actually helped in bringing down the numbers.
Right, and Anonna, you have mentioned that Bangladesh became the first country in the world to be officially validated by the World Health Organization for eliminating Kala Azar as a public health problem. And India needs 3 more years to get this certification. So can you tell us what is required for a certification like this from the WHO?
So for elimination certificates, the countries have to show that it's not just, at one point in time they have achieved that elimination target. They have to show that they can sustain that target. So for example, for the next 3 years at least, India has to maintain, in fact, longer than that, but 3 years at least for the certification. They have to show that they are able to detect even the very few cases that do happen and treat them appropriately. They have to show that, places where this infection was spreading do not become hotspots again from these very few cases that are remaining, or that new places do not become hotspots. So all of this has to be ensured to show that it's not just a one-time thing that India has been able to do, but something that can be sustained over the years. And it's not just us, it's for every country. You have to show for 3 years that you can sustain these numbers. That's when you receive the certification. And although Bangladesh is the first one to get this certification, which happened in early November, there are many countries that are actually either they've achieved their elimination target or they are just about to. So a lot more countries will be certified in the next coming 3 to 4 years.
And in the end, we give you an update on the opposition bloc India. The 4th meeting of the leaders of the India bloc will be held in Delhi on the 19th of December. And during the meeting, the parties are expected to lay out the seat-sharing roadmap and give a final shape to joint rallies and campaign programs. The India meeting is being convened after the Congress suffered humiliating defeats in assembly elections in the Hindi heartland states of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. In fact, just after the results were announced, the Congress had to defer a scheduled meeting of its India bloc allies after several leaders of different parties said they planned to skip it. The meeting was scheduled for the 6th of December. Sources in the Congress told the paper that now in the upcoming meeting, the parties would discuss an alternative positive agenda to counter the BJP in the general elections. They also said that the parties intend to move forward with a motto to showcase unity, which is "Main nahi, hum," which translates to us, not I. Now it is to be seen whether the other parties agree to this theme, which was one of the slogans of the Congress's 2014 Lok Sabha election campaign. Back then, the slogan had created a political controversy. A Congress advertisement which appeared in all major English and Indian language newspapers at that time had this phrase "Main nahi hum" emblazoned behind Rahul Gandhi. The BJP had then claimed that the tagline was coined and used by Narendra Modi during his Chintan Shibir in 2011. However, the challenge now before opposition parties is to come out with an alternative agenda. At the meeting, they would also give a final shape to a common program for the alliance. You were listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar. It was written and produced by me, Utsa, Sarmin and Niharika, Nanda. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone who you think will like it and share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Podcasts and write to us at podcast@indianexpress.com.